Hello everyone, welcome back to what will probably be the last video of Space Quest 3. So I'm not quite well today. I'm recovering from a little bit of an illness that I've had over the past couple of days. I normally wouldn't make a video if I'm not feeling quite 100%. I'd normally skip this video day and wait till the next one because I want to be, at 100% when making videos, but I'm not feeling too badly, and I kind of want to get this done since this will probably be the last video. I don't want to leave it for too long. Honestly, I just want to get this game done. So I'll try to do it in my current state. I might have to cough a bit, but otherwise I think I should be okay to make the video. This will probably be the last video because we're very close to the end of the game now. But just before I start, I want to mention, thank you to the person who mentioned, so this person here on the left cracking the whip is obviously Ken Williams. That's fairly obvious. Ken was the president and founder of Sierra. What I did not know is that the other guy here on the right, this is supposed to be Rick Cavin, or Cavin. I don't know if that's Cavin or Caven, who was Sierra's head of production at the time. I did not realize that this was also a real person. I thought that that was just supposed to be some generic-looking guy, but no, it's a real guy. In fact, apparently it's actually mentioned in the game files that that is Rick Caven. It's not mentioned actually in the game text itself. I wonder if you say look at Rick. Yeah, the game doesn't know that word, and the game pro doesn't know the word Ken either. Yeah, but, okay, so the game doesn't actually mention that in-game, but if you actually look inside the game's files, apparently I guess the object or the avatar, the picture for this guy is called Rick or Rick Caven or something like that, so there you go. Kind of interesting. Apparently also, Mr. Caven did not mind the representation of himself as a whip-cracking slave driver. It's kind of funny because you'd think that the representation here is kind of unflattering, but apparently he didn't mind. I don't know if he just didn't get the pejorative intention or if he just didn't care. It kind of reminds me of I don't know if some of you, probably a lot of you know who James Herriot was. He was a writer who also worked as a veterinarian and became famous for his stories. Like he wrote several books about his allegedly true life stories of being a veterinarian. And he also portrayed his two co-workers. So he worked with a couple of brothers, and one of them, whom he named Siegfried in the books, was quite crazy, and was very was really kind of a crazy guy. And the other one was named Tristan, and Tristan was kind of he was less crazy, but he was very hedonistic. Like he was a hard partier and he was a womanizer. And when James Herriot sort of characterized them in his books, the real life characters' reactions were polar opposites. Siegfried kind of reacted to the books by saying, this is quite insulting. This is a real test of our friendship that you've described me in your books as this sort of insane maniac. But Tristan was exactly the opposite. He said, wow, cool, you've portrayed me as this boozing womanizer. That's awesome. That's so cool. So, kind of the same thing here. You'd think that maybe Mr. Caven would have been a little bit insulted, but apparently he thought it was really cool that he was portrayed as a slave driver. Whatever floats your boat, I guess. Okay, let's get back to where we were here. So, right. So, what do? We put the key card into the slot and wait for the. Oh no, we don't wait. We don't wait. As soon as we get the message that the facial scan is about to begin, you have to quickly hold up the picture. And there we go. And then this will get the door to open. All right, now we can go inside. And yeah, this is where we ended last time. So we push the button on the side. This is actually one of the hardest puzzles in the game. Well, maybe not one of the hardest puzzles, but there's not necessarily a lot of indication that there's a button here. Well, actually, I guess you can see button panels here, so I guess it's not that difficult. It took me, when I first played this game, it took me a while to figure out that there was a button panel here that I could push to extend that bridge. But I guess reasonably, it's actually not that difficult when you realize that there are button panels clearly shown here and here. Anyway, so just like last time, yeah, we can see there's two guys in Jello. Oh yeah, somebody mentioned, thank you to the person who mentioned, you can try to eat the Jello as a solution here. It says, yuck, you hate lime Jello. Okay, so that's not going to work. So we have to say zap. Actually, I guess you were supposed to say zap the Jello, but I just typed zap and it works. So we saw this last time. Thanks. Great to be out of the green stuff. What's your name? Roger Wilco. Let's get out of here before we're discovered. So, what's your plan for getting us out of here, Wilco? Yeah, there's no plan. Tell us you have a plan, Joe. That's from the, I know it's the first episode, but an early episode of *Halt and Catch Fire*, where people start getting fired and everybody's looking at Joe, who's the hot new sales guy, and they're like, tell us you have a plan. Tell us that you saw this in advance. Okay, nobody's going anywhere. We read this last time. Escort this gentleman to the arena. You boys haven't seen a good fight in quite a while. Well, we're about to see one. And do away with those two Andromedaeans. They've been more trouble than they're worth. Take them away. All right. So, we're almost done with the game. We have two... You and the two guys are separated and escorted away. A door opens and you're led into the dark unknown. So they chose to end the game, interestingly enough, with two action sequences. Action sequences in Sierra Adventures are always controversial. Some people didn't like them because they just wanted adventure elements. Okay, Wilco, the name of the game is Nukem Dukem Robots. The only rule is that there are no rules. I wonder what Nukem Dukem Robots could be a reference to. I mean, this is supposed to be kind of reference to Rock'em Sock'em Robots, but obviously it's also reference to Duke Nukem. I mean, the name at least. You have a limited power supply. A successful blow will absorb a robot's energy and vice versa. On the other hand, a wasted movement of any kind will rapidly deplete your robot's power. Sounds like fun, huh? So yeah, Anyway, here's the deal. If you win, you have the honor of becoming Scumsoft's new full-time janitor. Haha. But if I win, you'll be dead. Oh, by the way, your friends, the two guys from Andromeda, have joined us, as you can see below. Be careful not to step on them. I thought you said to take them away. You said take them away, and now you suddenly brought them here as part of this fight. Let the game begin. So, sorry, that was more of a Borat voice, I guess. So the controls here are fairly simple. Arrow keys control your robot. You move around with the arrow keys. J punches and M blocks. That's really it. It's just like 6 keys. Four arrow keys plus 2 other keys. So yeah, arcade sequences or action sequences are always fairly controversial in Sierra Adventures because a lot of people just wanted adventure game elements in their adventure games. They didn't want to have like action sequences. Some people said, these are too difficult for us, so we just, this isn't what we came for. I didn't come for this. I didn't sign up for this. And some people like them. So to be fair, they're usually not too difficult. But, what is too difficult is kind of a matter of opinion, obviously. So, I'm going to say I don't use block much. Just as in Quest for Glory, I usually mostly just thrust at the opponent until they're dead. I pretty much do the same here. I just punch until it's over. So, you can kick his robotic butt, Wilco. So, you can... See, he blocks a lot, and that's the problem. Oh. It's the problem. If you... Oh, come on. If he blocks your punch, then you mostly just wasted your energy. But if you don't punch, then he'll probably punch you. Or, yeah, sometimes you have like an exchange like that where... Wow, this is really not going well. We're both kind of worn down, actually. So, I usually find it easier just to not move. And just let him come to me. So I don't even bother moving. I usually just do this. I usually just stand here. Oh, there we go. That worked. Alright. Come on, let's get out of here. Alright. In fact, I think that's what the hint book says. The official hint book for this game says, don't move around too much. Just, get them, you fools! Just let Elmo come to you. And that usually works out pretty well. Because if you move around, that also wastes your robot's energy. So it's better to just stand in place and just punch him when he gets close to you. I usually find that's the tactic that works best for me. You can try different tactics, but that's what I usually do, and that's usually what works best for me. So we take off. Well, Roger, you done good. You managed to rescue the two guys and escape from Pestilon alive. Looks like this will be a milk run from here on out. Gosh, Raj, we really appreciate you saving us and all. I can't press enter to skip this, so you just kind of have to let it run its course. Yeah, we were really scared. We didn't know what Pug was going to do to us. So we just kind of sit here, and the game's not quite over. There's one last action sequence. I'm just going to let this dialogue run its course. Hey, don't you think we better get out of here? Pug's really sore, and he probably sent some ships after us. All right, well, let's try that. Let me actually save here, obviously. One robot battle. Oh, warning, short-range fighters approaching from rear. Weapons lock-on detected. All right. Light speed non-functional. The light speed here on this ship is not working. That is bad. Those jokers back in Pestilence must have tampered with the light speed thingamajig. Well, that's bad. But we have another problem. Here we have fighters incoming, so now we need to go back to the weapons system. We used the weapons system once during the, pretty much the beginning when we... Whoops. Oh, I was too slow. Having the correct shield up could have prevented this. The final shot shreds the side of your ship. In the sudden vacuum, your body fluids expand beyond the capacity of your tissues. Your desiccated body, I think that should have 2 S's in it. Your desiccated body will drift forever, grim testament to your blundering stupidity. Sudden decompression sucks. All right. So, what we need to do here, yeah, approaching from the rear. So, what we need to do is go back to the weapon system here, put on the back shield, and wait until... Takes a moment. You have to be patient here. Yeah, target in rear. There we go. Okay, now use the arrow keys to try to follow the target and get a lock on. If you move the crosshairs over the target, then... Come on. Don't. Out of range. Okay. Alright, and now I had the wrong shield up. If I remember correctly, you can have that happen one time. You can afford to have the enemy get away from you one time. Other than that, you have just enough shields to destroy exactly the number of enemies that you have. So you can't... You can let them get away once, but if that happens more than once, then you're dead. So I'm going to try to do it without letting them get away. You can see it's a little bit difficult, actually, to... in fact, let me actually pause just for a second here. Let me just go on the interwebs for a second and look up the actual Space Quest 3 hint book. Because there's a useful, well, useful, I mean... Oh, actually, you know what? I think I forgot... Yeah, actually, I forgot attack speed. Okay, you know, I'm going to load the game because I forgot, actually... here on the computer, you just press 6 for attack speed, otherwise it's impossible to lock on. There we go. Okay, that's what I did wrong. I couldn't lock on because I didn't choose attack speed. That's the first problem. But now, target in rear. All right, let me just pause for a second. And the official hint book for the game says, I think the most useful thing that it probably says about this fight is instead of just following the ship with the crosshairs, try to anticipate its movement. That's probably the most useful and tactical advice that that you'll get from the hint book here. And actually, it also says try slowing down the speed of the game. That might be a good idea as well. So I'm gonna try it like this. So, I mean, you'd think... There we go. There we go. Cool. All right, now the target's in front. So now you have to quickly switch. You press F to switch to the front shields. And there you go. So when the target comes in from the front, you can't fight it. You just have to put the shields to the front and then take the hit. Just kind of tank that hit. But now, when it starts coming from the back, there we go. You know, I'm going to save here. I'm going to save after every victory because, like I said, you can't afford to miss more than once. There you go. Target in front, switch to the front shields. It might not seem that difficult, and I guess it's not super difficult most of the time, but it can be difficult to get that lock on because the ship's movements are a little bit erratic, and if you're not... actually, I'm playing with the cursor keys, too. I don't know if that's the best thing to do here. Some people would probably prefer to play with the mouse. Oh, come on. Almost had it. Actually, let me... Oh. Okay, gonna load. You know what? I think I forgot to save the last hit. There we go. I should have saved after that, because I think I forgot to save after that one. There are something like... roughly 5 ships in total. I forget the exact number, but it's something like 5. So you just have to do this around 5 times. It might get a little bit tedious towards the end, but it's not super long. It's not super difficult. It is just a little bit... it's kind of a cool climax, actually. It's kind of... it does add a little bit of adrenaline, a little bit of excitement to the end, having this sort of climactic fight with these skull fighters. It's kind of... I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. I realize that people who like adventure games and don't like action games might be put off by it, and they might say, you know, LucasArts games didn't have this. LucasArts games didn't make you do, like, arcade sequences in the middle of adventure games. But, yeah, that's true. It's not for everyone, but I guess I'm omnivorous enough as far as my games go that I don't mind an arcade sequence in the middle of my adventure game. Alright, save here. There we go. The remaining enemy ships have given up and are heading back to the planet. Looks like you were just too much for them. Alright, that's it. And now we got the maximum score. Cool. Go ahead and save one more time just in case. I mean, why bother saving? There's nothing that can kill us now. I'll go ahead and press O for off and F6 for combat view. Combat cockpit. Man, oh man, you really showed those bozos a thing or two. Now can we get something to eat? Once again, I don't think I can skip this. You just have to wait for it. You inform the two guys that Lightspeed is no longer functional. They're not overly pleased by this piece of news. What? No, I'll never get any food. Some rescuer you are. Also note that guy appears to have forgotten to put on his seatbelt. Hey, what's this thing on the wall? It says, Lightspeed Maintenance Access Panel. Gee, maybe I can fix this bucket of plastibolts. Yeah, this is it. This fan belt thing came off of the round thing it was on. Just a second. Okay, she's all fixed. Let's go grab a burger. Too late, you realize that you have no course laid in. The light engines kick in before you can override. You inform the two guys that Lightspeed is now functional, but it's out of control. They're not overly pleased with this bit of news either. That's actually not really possible in the game because you can't actually activate Lightspeed until you lock in a course. But okay, I mean, this is obviously a bit of a plot hole, but let's go with it. Ah, we're all gonna die! Oh no! Why did I get up this morning? Mommy! Careening blindly through space, your ship speeds toward a sizable black hole. Once within the gravitation of the black hole, there's no escape. You plunge into destiny. I think we missed some of their dialogue. I think at one point in time, one of the guys turns to you, like turns to the player, turns to the screen and says, "How are you liking the game so far? Was it worth $50? The overwhelming force of the black hole draws your ship in. Helpless to do anything, you and your passengers strap in and hope for the best. You enter a blackness like no other you've ever experienced. All sense of time and speed are lost. Suddenly, a bright light becomes visible in the distance. It grows larger as your ship races toward it. Finally, you are hurled out of the blackness into a parallel universe. You cut the engines to sublight speed as you near a seemingly habitable planet. Hey, look where we are. Greetings, Earthling. We are the two guys from Andromeda, universally famous software authors. And I'm Roger Wilco, space-age swashbuckler and all-around nice guy. Hello, I'm Ken Williams, president and founder of Sierra Online. So, you two guys are software authors, eh? What are your credits? Ever heard of Astro Chicken? No? Good! How about you two guys coming to work for me? Sounds great! How many buckazoids does it pay? Buckazoids? Say, Mr. Williams, do you need a janitor? No? As our space saga comes to a close, Roger, feeling a little left out, struts off to his ship with the satisfaction knowing his mission has been accomplished. Kind of the same ending as Leisure Suit Larry 3. In Leisure Suit Larry 3, the two guys from Andromeda go on to create the Space Quest series of adventure games, reaping fame and fortune. They grow fat in their success and soon become burnt out and begin a drunken tailspin into obscurity. It actually kind of happened after this game that kind of... I remember the two guys saying they never intended to make a third game, and this game was kind of difficult for them to make. And so we bid our hero fond farewell as the ship once again bursts into light speed, course unknown. The end. That's it. Thanks to the following for their cooperation in the making of this game: Pestilon Department of Forestry. These are obviously kind of fake credits. Monolith Synthetic Industries Incorporated. Fester's World of Wonders. Gypazoid Novelties. Fleabut Sand Advisory Council. Arnoid Droid Works. Caffeinate 90. Orbo Snack Food Inhalers. Friends of the Talking Bear Society. Obviously reference to the Talking Bear in eastern Madera County, where Sierra used to be. Mark Seibert, Bob Siebenberg, and Stuart Goldstein for their outstanding sound work. Doug Oakley, Ken Koch, and Chris Smith for a great programming effort. The credits suddenly became real. Robert E. Bobbitt Heitman for his generous yet verbose contribution of advice, help, and emergency code service. Very special thanks to two mates from Andromeda, our wives, for putting up with us for these last 12 months. Wow, back then it only took 12 months to make a game. You, for shelling out your hard-earned bucks to buy this game. Is that it? I think the credits loop now. Yeah, that's it. That's it! That was Space Quest 3. I'm going to turn on the music just a tad. I don't have a lot more to say. I remember the two guys saying that they had never really planned to make a third Space Quest game, and so it was kind of difficult to make a third game because they started running out of ideas. They said they started running out of ways to, like ways to expand the story, places for Roger to explore, ways for Roger to die, stuff like that. I don't know that it's noticeable here, but certainly by the next game, at least, especially at the start of Space Quest 4, you can see that the tone became a lot darker, like really a lot darker. And they admitted at the time that, that Space Quest 4 was sort of an indication of how burned out they were and how sort of disenfranchised they had become, or how they felt with the whole process of making these games. Partly for that reason, and partly also because it switched to a point-and-click interface instead of a text parser. I'm not going to be doing the next Space Quest games. I'm not going to be doing Space Quest 4, 5, or 6, so the Space Quest saga ends here with me, sadly. But I hope that you've enjoyed watching, and yeah, we'll see where the journey takes us from here. And yeah, I was going to say, let's see, can I quit? How do I quit? Okay, press Control-Q to quit. So yeah, that was that. I was saying it kind of reminds me of the ending of Leisure Suit Larry 2, because at the end of Leisure Suit Larry 2, Larry and Patty also find themselves in Sierra, and Larry also decides to start a career as a game programmer, and he basically turns his story, his adventures, into adventure games for Sierra. I wonder which game did it first, because it kind of feels like one game stole the idea from the other. These games came out around the same time. Space Quest 3 came out around the same time as, roughly the same time as Leisure Suit Larry 3. Which game came out first? I think Space Quest 3 came out first. I think Leisure Suit Larry 3 was like a year or two later. But let's check. Let's use the Google. Actually, I'll use the Wikipedia. I hope I can trust Wikipedia for this information. I hope that Wikipedia is not going to steer me wrong here. Let's see. So, according to Wikipedia, Space Quest 3 was released on March 24th of 1989. So, okay, March 1989. And Leisure Larry 3 came out in November 1989. So, same year, but Leisure Larry 3 came out from March to November. That's 11 minus 3, so that's 8 months. So Leisure Larry 3 came out eight months after Space Quest 3. So I kind of feel like Space Quest 3 had the idea first of, hey, let's make ourselves into characters of the game and have the game end with us making our own story into the adventures that we've actually made. And then I guess Al Lowe copied that idea for his game 8 months later. Um, but it doesn't really matter. In either case, it's kind of a silly ending. It's kind of a postmodern ending. It's kind of a little bit of a cop out ending, but it's not bad. It's amusing. It's okay as an ending. It's okay. Um, and yeah, I'm probably not going to play the Leisure Suit Larry games. I like the Leisure Suit Larry games, but they're meant to be funny. They're not meant to be like porn games. They're meant to be like actual. They're meant to be like comedy. They're sex comedies, not actual sex games. And I worry that I would just get a little bit too perverted with them because I am a huge pervert, and I don't want to go too overboard with them. So that's probably something that should be left to other people because I am a huge creep and I would probably spoil the fun of those games. But yeah, this has been Space Quest 3. I hope that you've enjoyed watching. Thanks for coming along with the with me on the journey, folks. And take care of yourselves. I will talk to you in a future video about some other game that is probably not this one. So until then, until next time, thanks for watching again. Take care of yourselves, and bye bye for now.